Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is Campfire Queso. Today we're cooking up a really tasty, very simple cheese dip that's so easy to make, you can literally do it on the campfire, which is kind of what we're gonna do today. Now this is a really basic cheese dip. It's the kind of stuff that you could pack up in the cooler and take with you on the go. We're gonna be starting over charcoal, which I often like to take charcoal with me when we go camping so that you can do a little cooking like that on the side. So let's go ahead and get it fired up. So we're gonna start off with a chimney full of our big block lump charcoal, a light fire starter, and let this get going. So we got just a little bit of knife work to do here for our queso. We're gonna break down one whole yellow onion, dice it up. Now the great thing about this is you can totally do this knife work ahead of time if you actually are going to be making this around the campfire, and just pack it in the cooler. Although I always bring a knife with me when we go camping. It's fun to cook outside. That's why we started a YouTube channel about it. And then I'm gonna dice up a few jalapeños. So these I've also fire roasted in the coals and then diced them to put them in. But I think because of the smoke that's going on coming from the actual fire, the wood that we're burning on top of the charcoal, it kind of gets lost. The flavor kind of gets lost. So save yourself a little effort and just go ahead and dice them up now, throw them in with the onions. So one of the unique ingredients that we're going to use today is a tablespoon of this sodium citrate. And essentially what this stuff is it stabilizes your queso so that the fat doesn't separate from the solids. So what that means is this is entirely optional because honestly, you guys have had a cheese sauce break before. It's not the worst thing, you just have to stir it. The one thing about this sodium citrate is that we want it dissolved before it goes into the queso. So we're just gonna bring this up to a gentle, not even really a simmer, just warm enough to dissolve everything. All right, I can see it's starting to come up to a simmer now. That should be totally dissolved. All right, we're ready to dump this out. I'm gonna kind of put it in a line here. You could definitely do this just with your wood that's cooked down to coals, but this is going to give us a little bit more consistent heat. From here, what I want to do is we're going to basically create a little shelf to cook on. Squeeze these in here. I'm going to need to make sure that we have some oxygen to move through there. And now we can just prop our Dutch oven right on top of those two logs. The first thing I want to do is brown our proteins. I've got a couple of pucks of Creekstone Farms brisket blend ground beef, 8 ounces of that, and 8 ounces of some beef chorizo. Actually, this is a pork chorizo, my bad. Spread it out, get that surface area, and we'll just let it go for a bit. All right, protein's looking good. We're gonna strain this off because we don't need all that fat in there. It's okay to leave a little bit behind. I'm just gonna work some of that extra fat out of there. And then we're gonna return a little bit back to the pan to cook our onions and peppers. Just about a tablespoon. So onions go in, jalapeños go in. Toss them to coat them in all that delicious chorizo and brisket fat. And then we're gonna hit this with a little bit of seasoning, about a tablespoon of our Cattleman's Grill Mexicano. Just a little bit more. All right, we're just gonna sweat these out, stirring them every once in a while and cooking them until they're softened and those onions look translucent. Onions and peppers are looking good, so now we're gonna add in our half and half with the sodium citrate. We're also going to throw in 1 pound of the Velveeta Queso Blanco. Good old melty Velveeta. And we're just gonna let that cook down until all the Velveeta's melted, and then we've got some more cheese to throw in. Oh yeah, that's looking good. All right, secondary cheese. 8 ounces of pepper jack. Just stir that until it's fully melted. So now we can return our proteins back to the Dutch oven. Also gonna throw in a cup of one of my favorite salsas. This is the Marty's roasted green chili. We'll give it a stir, throw the lid back on, and then just give this another 5 minutes or so to all come up to temp, and that's it. Bubbling away, I'd say it's done. All right, let's fill up the camp mugs and dig in. Just to be clear, nobody should be eating this much cheese by themselves. But we're gonna top it off with a little bit of queso fresco freshness and a little bit of cilantro. Boom. Stick a chip in it and enjoy. Gonna finish it off with a little bit of Where Did the Mango hot sauce from Heat Mavericks, our Heat 16 champion this year. Let's get a bite. This is like the good old-fashioned Velveeta and Rotel, but elevated. Chorizo, big flavor. Gotta love a little freshness on the top from that cilantro. There's just a touch of heat from the hot sauce, but overall this is not a spicy queso or cheese dip. I mean, this is a very American cheese dip. But man, it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of smoke going on because of that cooking environment. The smoke swirling around that whole time. Great flavor. It'll warm you on a cool day, but you could eat this year round. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.